You may be an exact replica. Can you ball like me? Can I ball? That's funny. Somebody wrote a clip.
What up, what up, what up? There comes a time in every YouTuber's life where they too must make an NBA 2K covers tier list, and that day is today for me. Quick preface, I am not intending this to be a games tier list. If I were to talk about the games, this video would be 5 hours long. And we'll get this started. NBA 2K. I did not play NBA 2K when it came out. I was busy learning how to live. In a general sense, in a different sense, I was a baby. But NBA 2K is S tier. NBA 2K with Allen Iverson on the cover for the Sega Dreamcast is one of the best choices 2K's ever made. It might be one of the greatest brand ambassador deals for sports games. I don't know if that's saying much in general, but the branding of Allen Iverson on NBA 2K being this edgy, cool, realistic basketball simulator, very stark contrast to the branding of NBA Live. The idea of a cover athlete in 2000 was so different than it is today. A cover athlete was so much more of a brand ambassador. You look at these old trailers for the Sega Dreamcast, for NBA Jam, for NBA Live even, and the cover athlete is significantly more important. The Sega Dreamcast gets the rights to Kobe and his all over the commercials. And the fact that Allen Iverson was this early ambassador at the height of his powers is a major reason why 2K outlasts the Sega Dreamcast, which is really its first issue. 2K1 is Allen Iverson's best single season ever. He wins MVP, goes to the finals, and I think you have to put him A tier. I give extra points here when a player is at the height of his powers, when he's selected. And 2K1 is Allen Iverson's best year of his career, by all intents and purposes. 2K2, it gets a little old. This is the first time 2K really goes multi-platform, and Allen Iverson is still a great player, but I just think this cover is very, very bland. It lacks a lot of the heart the first two have, and by 2K3, they have the original Xbox here. I think this is straight up doo-doo garbage. This is such a bland and uninteresting cover. ESPN Basketball, terrible cover. This is Allen Iverson, if you couldn't tell, and looks like he's just not playing basketball. I don't know. This is F tier. This is horrible. This might be my least favorite cover, and I think this kind of mirrors his career trajectory over these first 5 years. This is kind of when you start to see the modern conception of cover athlete. And it starts with Ben Wallace in another ESPN 2K5 game. And he won the championship the year before. He's a huge defensive player. You'll see, I really hate that all these guys are just, it's the same pose over and over again. So I give him points of that. I'm going to put him B tier because it's very unique. It's the first non-Allen Iverson cover. 2K6 Shaq is a little bit late for Shaq. I mean, this is his year where he wins the title in Miami, which is good. Although, for many parts of those playoffs, most famously the finals, he's not that guy. It's very much the Dwayne Wade show. I know I'm going way too into this, but cover is also very boring. I find it very boring, but I give it C tier because it's Shaq. He's a huge name. He won the title. He was still an all-star. 2K7 is a little bit less respectable. I think this is the season he gets traded to the Suns. Might be the season after, but he was a shell of himself. I would say he's probably the worst player to be on a mainline cover of 2K. I'm like scanning. Maybe ever? Question mark? Maybe Allen Iverson in 2K5 is weaker. And in 2K4, I mean. Dear. 2K8 Chris Paul is a great B tier. I think it's a very strong B tier. I have a lot of admiration for Chris Paul during this time. I think this is probably his best year of his entire career. Made semifinals, only lost to the Spurs. That pretty terrible Sporting cast. So I give it to him. 2K9 is continuing the trend of having the most previous champion. Kevin Garnett won Defensive Player of the Year. championship in 2008, in my opinion, was the best player on that Celtics team. In the heart of that Celtics team. You know, he's beating his chest like he did in the famous interview. And this is, I mean, he had a, not quite an Allen Iverson in 2001 season, but a very, very strong season. This is such a conflicting cover of 2K10. I want to give this S tier. This was my first 2K where I really, really sunk my teeth into it. I played a lot of 2K9, and I played a little bit of 2K8, but 2K10 was the first time where I got it launched, and it's a great cover. He just won the title. All these things are pointing S tier, but they make him so white. It's so weird. I mean, I can't be the only one who's noticed this, but he does not look like himself. It's very strange, the lighting. Everything else is on point. So I have to put it in A tier. I would put it in S tier if they just took a realistic photo of the guy. The time has come. 2K11 is, with 2K, the most important 2K game, the most important 2K cover. No basketball game had even had a full Legends team before. Nor on the cover. All these previous covers aside, these are all current players. 2K11 drops that legendary trailer with the cover of Michael Jordan, and just, I mean, this is the Michael Jordan of NBA 2Ks. That was his first time as a Bull appearing in a 2K game, and the cover, the game, I have to stop talking about it because I'm just gonna ramble too much, but it is the quintessential 2K cover. It is beautiful. It's fantastic. The animation for the startup screen was great. It destroyed NBA Live. This game changed 2K forever. I think they're the three most important 2Ks are 2K13, 11, and the original. And it also started off this terrible trend, and I ordered these for you because 2K11, these just ugly red color schemes. Ugh. Every one of these are going to take a little hit because they all look the same to me. But 2K11, you have to give it so much props for what it did to the series, and you know, it's not, when you put Michael Jordan on the cover, you better back it up, and they backed it up big time. 2K12, 2K11 plus, in my opinion, and that's not saying it's a bad thing. I had the Magic Johnson variant. I think these three are all very strong. I love the marketing towards the Legends. I think Jordan, this is just a worse version of 2K11, so I have to put it at B tier. Larry Bird, you can't even really tell it's Larry Bird, honestly. I don't like how it's so blurred. So I'm also going to put it at B tier. And then Magic, I get to put it at A tier because he's doing the baby hook, which is one of his signature shots when he wins the game against Celtics in 85. 2K13, first of all, I actually don't know why there are two. I know the Kevin Durant one, but I don't remember the Marc Gasol one. It's D tier. These three players were on completely different planes, as were these three, as well as how they've aged. You know, Derrick Rose in 2013 was very much a question mark if he'd ever make it back to his 2011 form, which he never did. Kevin Durant was incredible. Blake Griffin was less incredible, but still incredible. And it's just kind of a weird, you know, there's no theme. Magic, Bird, Jordan, I don't really see it with these guys. So we're going to put these in C tier just because Kevin Durant makes more sense than Marc Gasol. But now the exception to the rule is 2K14. 2K14, it is absolutely without a doubt S tier for me. LeBron at the height of his powers, his first time being on the cover, the first time being on PS4, incredible game, incredible cover. Kevin Durant on 2K15. He wins the MVP. He's great, and he was great in the branding. I had just seen Thunderstruck, and I was like, wow, I'm that kid too. So he has a lot going for it, obviously. But it's very generic looking. At least he's doing something differently than just like, no, I mean, like you look at, you have so many ones with just a guy dribbling. I mean, it's the NBA logo has got that. You need to do something different than the NBA logo. So I have to put it at C tier. 2K16, probably the biggest difference in game and cover for me, of my opinions. These three players make more sense than these three players, for sure, because they're all around the same age, around the same skill, At the time, Harden was not nearly as respected as he is now. Curry had just won MVP, and Anthony Davis was an all-star. It was just kind of a weird... It seemed like they just kind of had too many people accept the ad. I just don't understand why you need 3 of them. Yeah, I'm going to say it's D tier, honestly. The Jordan cover, this is the one I had. I had the poster that came with the pre-order bonus. This is great. I love the gold. But again, how many times are you going to put Michael Jordan on the cover? We're not over here yet. We're not quite here. I give it a B tier because of the gold. All right, and now we have our regional variants. The status I'm going to mark with those is if there is another player from that country who should be on the list, it's a minus. Otherwise, it's, kind of is what it is. I mean, there's only so many French players. Who are you going to put on this cover? Nicholas Batum. I mean, it has to be Tony Parker. It is very bland. I mean, oh my God, look at all these. These are just all the same. And you don't say like, oh, it's the same game. Like, there are other regional variants that are different. 2K19 is right here, 2K20. This is going D tier. Curry is the most deserving player of one. It's sad that his was just so generic and lumped in with the others. Dennis Schroeder, I mean, just choose Dirk at that point. I mean, I know he's old, but like he's probably the worst player to get. It's not great. Harden, D tier. I mean, he's probably at the time was not on the level of these other guys, in my opinion. Anthony Davis, probably D tier, just extremely generic. And now we come to 2K17. 2K17, Lord help me. If you played 2K17, you know this loading screen. And you know you had to stare at Paul George's face for so long to get into any type of game. And Paul George, by 2014 or 2015 even, was the time to make Paul George the cover. Paul George by 2017, the hype was so much lower. The cover is so generic. It's the exact same as 2016. It's F tier. It really is. The Kobe, now we get into it's Jordan and Kobe. Jordan and Kobe have the same problem of that first time that they're on is really crazy. And then they kind of start to milk it a little bit. 2017, because he retired, this is also the edition I had, is understandable. And I will give it a pass. But it's not a very high pass. And I swear to God, if that was red, this would be much lower. Danilo Gallinari is interesting. I am trying to think if there is any other Italian player. Marco Bellinelli, I don't know. I mean, that's understandable. D tier, I guess. I mean, Pau, this is really bad. This is F tier because Pau Gasol is the most deserving historic player of being on a Spanish cover. But in 27 on the Spurs, you have Marc Gasol. I mean, I would even take Rudy Fernandez over Pau Gasol on the Spurs, which is a shell of himself. I don't understand. I mean, Marc Gasol is the obvious choice. Even if you just slap a Laker jersey on him, it just looks so weird. It's also the red. Ugh. Have to take a drink. Wash out the Spurs, Marc Gasol. This is a funny one. 2K18, they initially come out with this one of Kyrie on the Cavs. I actually really like this cover. I actually really do. I'm going to put it in a B tier. Very much not the opinion of this game. But, he's on the Cavs. He has a really great season in 2017. And in 2018, in the offseason, right after they announced the cover, traded to Boston. And that's the first time this has happened. And the last time in 2K history. Well, they almost missed it with AD, but they didn't. He wasn't traded after. He had never played a game, and for some reason that really bothered me. I know all these are photoshopped to some extent, but this is just like the fact that he had never, not in a real game for sure. That just kind of messed with me. It's my honor, honestly, to put this in E tier. 2K18, I actually did not know they were 2 different 2K18 championship editions. I thought there were only the Lakers Shaq one, but I appreciate it was Lakers. I appreciate it's gold. Put it in C tier. The Heat, bro, I mean, come on. Like, a guy whose best years for a championship edition. DeMar DeRozan is not from Canada. He's from Compton. He plays for the Raptors. So I give it a pass. I think a team takes precedent over nationality. I mean, who can put? Steve Nash or Dylan Brooks. DeRozan, at the time, I mean, I think I really love this season from DeMar. I mean, they won 59 59 games. They were the one seed in the East this season. So I'm gonna put it a B tier. I think it's at least at the level of some of these other guys. He's not saying he's at the level. I'm saying the cover. 2K19, the hype. Hype of LeBron and the Lakers is clouding my vision. I like the theme of having the words with the nicknames and the critics. This is the second time LeBron's been on the cover, both of which, in my opinion, are very deserved. And I think it's solid B tier. Giannis being the main cover. I played this on Nintendo Switch, and that's a weird confession to make right now. But regardless, I do like that this finally, I mean, let's see, 18, 17, 16, since, honestly, in some senses, since 2K11 had this red color scheme, and I'm glad it finally broke free of it, and for that alone, I'm giving it A tier. Australian variant Ben Simmons was the perfect choice at the time, but it's just not aged well. I mean, Patty Mills, shout out, but it's a C tier. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy it enough. AD, I love AD, but this is not it. Why? 2K, you're stepping backwards. You're really stepping backwards. I mean, it's so generic. I mean, it's something, it looks like an NBA Live cover. You could have done, I mean, so many cooler things with a block or with a, the brow type thing. Thankfully, I think they saved all their designers for the special edition. And I love this cover. I did not own this edition, but I definitely wish I did. And this is going to A tier. I mean, the Miami Vice look. Ooh, I'm so happy this made its way back. 2K21 last gen, as in PS4 edition, looks terrible. First of all, this is just such a blank. I mean, I think they intentionally did that to make the next gen one look cooler. But man, I mean, what is he even doing in this? And Dame is just, I don't know why it's a really weird choice. I think because he was in an NBA Live cover before, and maybe some of these other guys were too, but like it just seemed a really weird fit compared to some of the other guys. Not as weird as Zion. Zion is probably the least deserving player in terms of accolades at the time. You know, you can say like, yeah, he was better than, I don't even know. Like, he played like 30 games by the time this cover came out, and it's a really cool cover with a really cool dunk. But he didn't do anything, you know? 30 games. But it's a really cool cover. It's not red. So therefore we must give it C tier. Kobe Bryant edition 2K21. First time, it was because he won the championship. Pass, great one. Next, he retires. Okay, you make a special one for that. Then he dies. And it is a nice cover. It seemed a little bad tasting to me to do that. I just think that could have been done better. 2K22 is a great cover. This is a great cover. I really enjoy all the 2K22 covers, honestly. So first of all, we have the next gen version. Big fan of Luka. I think he's totally deserving. So much hype at the time. Great pose. Very Luka. Giving it an A tier. The cross-gen bundle is a little bit weaker. I don't have a lot to say about this one. But I do like that it's more of a painting. That was kind of their theme. I'll give it B tier. The Legend Edition. I love this edition. And you just might say, oh, well, you just, hit on these three players for not having a lot in common. And these three players, they're all top 20 players of all time. And they're all in their prime jerseys, in the sense of what they're well known. It's painting dynamic with the black frame. And I just think it's so cool to have, I mean, I know Durant's been on there a bunch, but it's so cool to have a break from the usual Jordan, Bird, and Magic. So I'm actually gonna put this in S tier. I really enjoy this cover. It's not as consequential as these other three, but it's a really, really nice cover. J. Cole, my man, put a basketball player on this cover, bro. Like, I don't know if this is a meme at this rate, but like, sorry. This is the current gen of 2K23. It's nice. I'm a fan. I really hated this when it came out, but I really like that it's different. I like the Dutch angle. I like the kind of like gigantism theme of 2K23. It reminds me of the 2K16 intro sequence, which was on I don't even want to talk about that. I really like this cover. I'm gonna put it in B tier. The WNBA one, I don't like that there's 2 people on it, but I actually missed this. It was a 2K22 WNBA cover. That's how I'm gonna lay it out. I think if this is at a Dutch angle, I put it up here. Actually, no, I really like that color scheme too. I'm gonna put it right here, Luca. 2K, if you're watching this, we have had enough. Michael Jordan does not need to be on another cover of 2K for a long time. I get it. It was 2K23. Michael Jordan's jersey number is number 23. You know whose jersey number is 23? LeBron's, Anthony Davis. Like I don't care. Like this is when Michael Jordan's name used to mean something on a 2K cover. So first of all, it's a jersey. Oh, God, all the 3 of these are terrible. I mean, these 2 are particularly bad just because they're not even of Michael Jordan. These 2 look like they were created in like a day. This one, so weak. I mean, maybe this one goes in E tier. 2K24. 2K, please stop putting Kobe. I know it's 24. I know his jersey was 24, but next season, are you gonna put Gail fucking Goodrich on the cover? I mean, it is a really cool cover. I'm gonna put this one in B tier because it's a really cool cover. I really don't like that it's Kobe again. This one I'll put in D tier, and I really enjoy this one. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Now I'd like to rank just these top 4, and I would rank them as such. I would say Jordan is aptly the GOAT of 2K covers. LeBron having an unorthodox pose and started the red theme when it was good and next gen, and then Allen Iverson's signature look, and then this beautiful canvas look as well. I'd say these are the top 4. But that's the tier list. Hope you enjoyed.